Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This is very Japan Ripple XRP centric. Let's get right to it. The Bank of Japan begins its full-scale movement towards a CBDC. And in addition to their marching forward, the Bank of Japan is also requesting for cooperations from private companies. So I do hope that Ripple is going to give them a hand. And Mr. Kitao of SBI really hit a milestone. This is a cumulative amount of international remittances by SBI Remit. They handled exceeding the 1 trillion yen mark. That's about 9.4 billion US dollars. And they did it with 650,000 members. 90% of them that are registered as users are foreign nationals, and 41% are coming from Asia. Kind of interesting statistics. And another company that's doing very well here in Japan with transfers, that's TransferWise. And we learned just 2 days ago of their valuation. Everybody was always wondering, but this $319 million secondary share sale gave us this $5 billion valuation, which I think is very, very interesting. We've always been just kind of guessing at that. Now I'm jumping to a slide that showed up in the quarterly results for SBI. He gave the presentation yesterday. About 100 people joined the presentation. Most of them joined virtually online, but the company financial results overall came in way over the market forecast. What you're looking at here is a 76.9% year-over-year increase with the SBI VC trade and the SBI securities. And you can see they broke out the amount that SBI VC Trade did in terms of its contribution, which is 3.3 billion yen. So I think it's really growing up nicely. And with this revision of the Payment Services Act, the talk about the acquisition strategy going forward for this SBI VC Trade section of the business was kind of revealed. Of course, we know that they invested in the B2C2, which is the liquidity provider, which I'll talk about in a moment. But there are 3 other entities that they are eyeing. They have their eye on getting into some negotiations with them. They've set aside 70 billion yen to prepare for that. I think you're going to see movement big time in this next quarter. And so talking about B2C2, this is interesting because when SBI took this stake of 30 million, I just was thrilled because they are one of the world's leading liquidity providers. They're located in London. They're privately held. They handle BTC, Ethereum, Litecoin, BCH, XRP, Ethereum Classic, and Zcash. The interesting thing is to do any business on their site, there is a minimum settlement size of 50,000 US dollars. Yeah, most of their customers are institutional investors, but they have a lot of banks too. And on the 20th of June, they won this award, Best Institutional Liquidity Provider. That's pretty nice. I think they've been working at it for a long time. I think they have actually been established since 2015. You know, Max Boonen is a ex-Goldman Sachs FX trader, but he also did a lot of work at Google too, which is where he got started in one of his first jobs, and that kind of led him into getting involved in crypto. I think when you listen to this podcast here, which is called The Scoop, which is really good. It's one of the, if you ever want to know the inner workings of market makers and liquidity providers, this is the podcast. I have never heard anything better. But he never, I don't think he's not a, as he says, a cryptocurrency evangelist. He's more of a tactician in terms of the workings of making that liquidity flow. And he's obviously a smart guy, and he has built one of the biggest and best liquidity sources out there. And I just want to have you listen to this one section where he talks about his success in Japan Let's see, I think I actually have to go back just a portion for you. I have to go to the 2040. Okay, I can do it from here. Have a listen to just about 45 seconds.
OTC market making in foreign exchange, specifically EFX, and in interest rates, has studied a lot of things and gives us good color in terms of what the market's going to look like. That's why we had the first single dealer platform in 2016. That's why in 2017 we went to Japan, and actually, in terms of our the things that we were good at, we're the number one player in Japan by a huge distance. There's no one else who has managed to crack Japan in the way that we have. And the reason that we have achieved that is that we understand the dynamics of OTC markets versus exchange markets.
So there's no one that's been able to crack Japan like they have. So I think Mr. Kitao made a really great choice in this investment. And the fact that they have an office in Tokyo too, I think they're going to be very instrumental in the success going forward. And here, this is an interesting slide, I thought. During a recession, the world's cycle gets reset and new demands are created, and this openness to accepting new technologies is realized. And we can see from previous downturns in the economy that the leading companies have been born, and the startups, you know, have been launched in these kind of really bad economic times. There's a lot of examples here: eBay, Amazon, Google, PayPal, Uber, Instagram, Zoom, Venmo, Square, Stripe. So we're in this downturn now. I think we're going to see a lot of startups launch that are meeting the needs that have definitely changed. And I just thought this was kind of interesting to think about. Now, I want you to listen to this. This is important because Mr. Kitao talks about how valuable he believes R3 and Ripple are. Listen to this portion. This is the English audio that got uploaded today. The whole entire 1 hour and 43 minutes is available from their website to listen to. And I'm just going to play just 2 other clips from this, and I think it's interesting.
In this world of digital asset, in order to be a pioneer in the world, SBI Digital Asset Holdings has been established with offices in Japan and Singapore to develop global activities. The global investment activities are now being deployed. If you look all over the world, such a comprehensive and strategically and meticulously preparation is being made by any other companies than us. So that's why many people are approaching us from all over the world. R3, Ripple. Many people have not recognized how valuable they are. At such time, I thought that these will become a global standard. And I have continued to maintain that. And with both of them, we have established joint ventures in Japan. And in Ripple, in the remittance area, which is the leader, and it has become almost a global standard. R3 as well. Over 300 top-notch financial institutions have become the members of this. Even central banks have become members. Security token offering.
Yeah, okay, so he gets into his STOs after that. Now, this is the portion that I think might surprise you because I think, yeah, it just might surprise you. This is, as we sometimes say, this is an old saying, that there still is a lot of fences to mend. I think that's how it goes, or we have a lot of mending of fence to go. Anyway, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done with R3 and Ripple. Have a listen to this portion.
MoneyTap, Corda, Bestcoin, you could see that we are partnering together. This is a development we are seeing. The backbone technology behind MoneyTap is from Ripple. So, by connecting that with R3's Corda, this is something I have continued to say that we should do. First, we had a fight and there was a litigation, and then we settled the matter, and then when both come together and become integrated, it can become a global standard, and it could nurture the biggest market in the financial industry. So we are the leading shareholder in each entity. And this is my one of my greatest wishes. So indirectly, we are currently working on this. I wouldn't say both companies are fighting still, but still, the relationship is somewhat challenging. Ripple
What's Momo?
is going to develop their payment mechanism, and Corda is going to create their remittance mechanism. If that happens, they will need to compete against one another. Instead of competing, if they partner together, they will be able to win. But unfortunately, it's not happening yet.
So it's challenging, right? Unfortunately, it's not happening yet where they are working together. I mean, he is using both their technologies because he has the licensing rights to Corda, and MoneyTap was built by Ripple, but still looks like there's a lot of fence to be mended. Okay, we're going to keep it going here. I am going to just show you something interesting that comes from this Matsuda-san. Matsuda-san is the expert in terms of being an analyst, and he's with FX Coin. And this is kind of interesting because this is the exchange that said publicly as of Wednesday that they are still proceeding with on-demand liquidity, and that uses the digital asset XRP. And Matsuda-san is 51 years old. He is an ex-Forex dealer at Deutsche Bank. He was in the Singapore office and the Tokyo office, and he also worked at the University of Tokyo's Department of International Monetary System. He also had a part of his career with Mitsubishi Bank in Bangkok. So he is the resident analyst at FX Coin. Yes, he puts out a video every day at 9 a.m. and he just gave us a forecast. In the last 24 hours, he revised his forecast and he made one change. So you can see here that he put XRP at a price of 60 yen by December 2020. That is about 57 cents. And he did revise it down. These are the previous forecasts, and then he revised it down to 60 cents. Ethereum he kept at the same price, about 400 US dollars. The forecast on BCH is about $300, and then Litecoin is about at $80. But that is kind of interesting. I don't know. You know, of course, you know, I don't really talk about price, but I think it's interesting to see what other people who are in this field that have fair amount of qualification, and especially coming from an exchange that is going to be working with the on-demand liquidity. I think it's kind of just interesting. So you can watch this. You can go to FX Coin. He does a Ripple weekly report every Wednesday. So if you want to check that out, this is where you'll find that. And then also too, NTT Data. NTT Data is Japan's version of Accenture. It's a spin-off from the Japanese Public Telephone Corporation. They did that spin-out back in the 80s. It's considered the 5th largest IT service company in the world, and the parent company right now is Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Corp. So that's where the NTT comes from. And NTT Data is the 4th largest, well, actually NTT is the 4th largest, telecommunications company in the world in terms of their revenue. So this is a publicly traded company, and a third of the NTT shares are owned by the Japanese government, but the Japanese government owns massive amounts of stock in public companies for mostly the government investment pension fund, their GPIF. So it's not so strange that when people say, oh, it leads to the Japanese government, well, the Japanese government just invests in a massive number of companies here in Japan. So this is what I want to show you, that if you are, well, they're going to Singapore to set up this research center. And the research center is going to be also with the company called Leap Thought, and they're a consultant company from New Zealand, and they also have an office in India. They're going to hire up to 40 engineers in Singapore and concentrate on research and development with the aim to accelerate the digital transformation. I wanted to put a picture of this because the times I've been to Singapore, I one time stayed where I had the view of this Singapore Bay where the port is, and the ships just line up like this, waiting to get in because it's so busy. It's unbelievable. I've never seen a port, and I've seen Long Beach Port, which is one of the largest in the world, and Seattle has a pretty good size port called SeaTac, but I have never seen this number of ships coming in to unload merchandise ever, or pick up, or do both. Anyway, I think that if you do go to Singapore, you're going to find this is a really fun country to visit. So the point I want to bring up is that a lot of people pass around this very old NTT data company PDF that is by their European subsidiary, Everest. And this is from 2017, like I said. It's from a blockchain PowerPoint system. Oh, I got Momo back here pushing on my computer. Sorry. It's just a little bit old, and the reason why I say that is it's exciting, it's good, it was really fun when Love for Crypto found it, and yeah, it looks like everything runs on Ripple. But when we take a look at a little closer now what they're concentrating on, it's a little bit different. I do though want to say this is I'm on, oh Momo, stop, I'm on I Am Legion's Coil site. I Am Legion's Coil site has amassed the most unbelievable amount of information about Ripple. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. It's a place that if you're new in this space, or you're just darn curious to all the things in one location to view, I Am Legion's Coil site is the place to go. And I just wanted to bring up XRP Crypto Wolf, because he really works so hard at sourcing information also in this community. I wanted to give him a shout out. It's long overdue. And I'm on the backside talking to a few people, and I am really thinking about how we can create something that can monetize these researchers and the people who are on Twitter but don't have a YouTube channel, and yet some of them do get monetized on their Coil sites. But I'm just trying to think of a better way to do it, because it seems like everybody is just these guys that are bringing all this research to the table deserve to be recognized more than just shout outs. That's how I feel. So I've been brainstorming with a few people on now I got BB. She's wanting to come out of the closet. Oh, this is just totally kind of too much cat for me. I've got 3 of the 4 in this room right now. They're just really clinging. You can't do anything without them. If I don't let them in, Chibi will stand there and cry on the outside, and BB just opens the doors. She's so smart, she can open any door. So she goes in and out of wherever she wants to go. Okay, but anyway, let me get back on track here. So I am going to show you that I did a little bit of a deep dive on NTT data and what their current focus was, because they are an IT service provider, and they're agnostic, so which means that they have a whole bunch of services in their basket to offer. And this is so that video that I did was back 3 months ago, and it's because they were a big assistant when it came to the Italian banks that rolled out R3's technology. Okay, so I did find something that I think you'll be interested in. This is a new Blockchain Services 2020 report. And when we take a look at that report, you can see exactly what they're focusing on. So here we have on page 3 that they are partnered with Microsoft, Amazon, Alibaba Cloud, and they have endorsed the Oracle Blockchain Cloud solution. Okay, and then in terms of alliances, they have an alliance. It's a different category here. You can see that here is their partnerships, and then here is the list of alliances. And the alliances are many. There's Ripple, there's the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, there's also Hyperledger, there's R3, there's Illustria, there's, many. So I think that when you look at that old 2017 PDF form, I think that was a presentation that was being thrown around out there by Everest. And I just don't think it's really the core focus on NTT data. And we can just see that. Oh gosh, was I going to? No, I have one more thing to show you. Wow, I'm really falling apart at the end of this video. This is, now we can see on page 4, the actual number of client engagements. So in January 2018 to June 2019, you can see the breakdown, and they do it by color coding here on how many client engagements they had. So for Quorum, R3 Corda, and Ripple, they had 6 to 15 engagements with clients each. And then if we look at the clients that they are meeting with for Hyperledger, Fabric, and Ethereum, they have more than 30 clients that they've met with each. So it kind of shows you their focus and being agnostic to the solutions. I think they just bring the best fit with the basket of choices that they have. Okay, everybody, we are going to go to the fluff, and I have something fun. This is going to be the world's very first make your own Kit Kat shop. It's opening in Tokyo. It opens next Tuesday, and you can design your own Kit Kat yourself. It's going to be in this new complex that's opening called Miyashita Park. It's in Shibuya. It's in my favorite place in Tokyo to shop. And you can choose from milk chocolate, or their bitter chocolate, or the ruby chocolate. There are 17 options that you can choose for the toppings, and then you're only allowed to put 3 of those 17 on, but even just 3, I think you can create something that's very, very yummy. There are 5 sessions a day. It costs about $18 to do this, and I want to do it. And the complex that they're going into, this is the Miyashita Park, and it is, wow, I can't wait. I have not been here because I think it just opened in the last couple of days. The park is on the rooftop here, and then down here are the shops, and this is a brand new hotel. And the hotel looks fabulous. The rooms are priced from $140 US to about $400 a night. The $400 a night are the suites, and the suites are big. They're over 1,000 square feet. So, I mean, if you had a lot of friends and wanted to sleep. I think you could sleep in 1,000 square feet. I mean, I saw the pictures. It looks like an apartment, and you could probably easy sleep 6 to 8 people in there. Maybe some people would have to sleep on the floor, but hey, it could be done. This is such an amazing location. And the park area at the top, I'm not sure if this is wisteria. It kind of looks like it's possibly wisteria. If it is, oh my gosh, this is going to be absolutely beautiful. Because if wisteria really gets amazing and you can create these tunnels, which there are a few in Japan that you can walk through, they're just so neat. And I just can't wait to go. I'm going for sure. This is something I'm going to do within the next 30 days. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.